Nippy Singh and Nigel Farrell have bought a derelict farmhouse in a hilltop hamlet in the Ardèche Mountains of the south of France. They've got the go-ahead for the building work to convert it into a family holiday home. But will they be able to afford the extensive renovation? Buying the stone corner house at Les Fabres has cost Nigel and Nippy £15,000. Inside, the 300-year-old building is a complete ruin. Clearly, it's going to cost a lot more than they'd originally budgeted for to put right. Nigel's trying to organise a loan for his share of the money. A French bank has arranged a meeting with one of their representatives, a glamorous mortgage broker called Céline Cavalier.
It's the hardest part. The car has to work hard.
Faut que je pousse?
Oh, in the wrong gear. Ah, c'est bon.
C'est bon.
C'est bon. Vous êtes mariés?
Non.
Non? Seulement?
Divorcé.
Divorcé? Encore? Comme moi? We are almost at Les Fabres.
D'accord, là.
Okay. Et la grande salle, ici, nous espérons ici la cuisine, oui, et la...
Nippy and Nigel now reckon it could cost as much as £30,000 or even £40,000 to renovate, so Nigel's looking for half that.
Investissement, l'argent.
D'investir dans la pierre?
Vous pensez, c'est bon?
Bien sûr, et puis vous avez une vue magnifique ici. Donc. La maison est très belle, et elle est saine. Vous avez beaucoup de travail.
Beaucoup de travail.
In the nearby town of Aubenas, Nigel and Nippy have got a meeting with their architect, Paul Roder.
On voit très bien la partie qui est complètement enterrée de la maison par rapport à la route.
After an initial visit to Les Fabres, he's now drawn up the final plan for the renovation. And it includes all kinds of costs they'd not anticipated. Sorting out the damp on the north wall, lowering all the floors to allow for plumbing, the installation of new drains, and a large septic tank. There's no power, no water supply. They agree on a plan to convert the house into 3 good-sized bedrooms and knock through to a roof terrace to take advantage of the view. The only question is, how much?
On va être sur les 850 000 francs, à peu près.
Est possible écrit
Oui, bien
un
sûr.
nœud.
850 000 francs.
It's 850. I thought for a moment it was £8,500. It's actually £85,000. Can't be correct. C'est oui. 850
Yes.
000 francs. That's £85,000. This is rather more than we had in mind. I don't know where we go from here.
Alors, il est vrai qu'il y a quand même beaucoup de travail donc, en maçonnerie, il y a beaucoup d'ouvertures à retoucher, à créer, il y a du rocher à enlever, il y a tous les planchers à refaire, il y a les radiers en rez-de-chaussée à refaire. Il y a énormément de choses à refaire en fait. Hein. Donc c'est vrai que tout ça, ça prend de l'argent. Ça coûte énormément d'argent. On parle une petite minute. Oui, allô? Oui, pour le
Just coming from £85,000 is beyond our
moi j'ai rendez-vous avec
wildest possibilities, isn't it? That's terrible. What are we going to do?
Tu me l'ouvres simplement alors.
What are we going to do?
You know, throwing £85,000 doesn't mean that, you know, you just accept the figure because he's an architect.
I'm not
You
saying
know,
we can't, we
you know,
can't
I
accept
just
it
want to
anyway
know
because
how.
there's no way we can pay
No,
them.
no, no. Listen, I want to know is how can he justify £85,000? And that means the whole project is 10 times, at least 10 times more than what we thought.
Oui. Non, non, sûrement pas, non. Non. Dis-moi,
Yeah, but first thought so
tu n'as
that
pas repris encore les linteaux en façade?
you just walk away from it.
Oui. Non, centre-ville.
Nippy needs to let off steam so he can decide what to do next.
We paid 15 grand for the house. And what I want to know is, would we get our money back if we sold it?
I think we both knew the amount we'd set aside for renovations was unrealistic, but £85,000 has, well, completely knocked the wind out of my sails.
Without telling Nigel, I slipped down to have a quiet word with our estate agent, Madam. Madam, I have a problem. We are way over our budget here. This is a no-go situation for me, and I'd like to consider putting the house on market.
I'm sure I could sell this house at least 18.
Really?
Yes, at least.
This is quite an increase here.
As an agent, I would say, okay, I take the house and I sell it,
Well,
because
thing,
I have
you know,
no problem to sell this house. And more than the price you paid. So, Nippy, do you want to put the house on the market?
Nigel is still questioning the cost of the work and has returned to the house with Paul the architect.
Donc en fait, on a un autre gros problème ici.
One of the reasons why Paul's quote was so high was because they have nowhere to put a crane due to the electricity cables overhead.
No crane.
Et là, le problème, c'est qu'on ne peut pas l'installer non plus sur la
And they can't put it in the road because it would cause an obstruction.
Ils ne pourront pas accéder chez eux.
This is a disaster.
Et ça va vous coûter beaucoup plus cher maintenant. Ici, on est en contrebas de la route.
There's no escaping the damp problem, but Paul has found out a way to cut costs with the drainage.
Donc pour éviter un petit peu les coûts là-dessus, ce que l'on peut faire, c'est effectivement faire un drain pour récupérer les eaux, et on fait un deuxième mur.
And then piping down here.
It's a saving of £10,000. Not spectacular, but at least it's something.
Et plus économique?
Largement.
Oui.
Oui.
With a property boom to the south in Provence and the Côte d'Azur, prices in the Ardèche are climbing fast too, which is why Les Fabres is worth 20% more than a few months ago. Once renovated, the profit margin could be even more.
Well, on balance, I've had a long chat with Manu. From my point of view, with businessman's brain, I think I still feel a bit doubtful about this project. But thinking about my girls and Bimmy and friends and Nigel, and I think I'd say yes, go for it.
So Nippy's decided to go ahead, but he can afford the extra cost. Next morning, Nigel still needs £35,000 if he's to meet his half of the renovation costs. So he's returned to Céline, the mortgage broker.
Est-ce que vous êtes fixé une durée pour votre crédit?
Pour 20 ans, par exemple.
20 ans, d'accord. Si on prend 350 000 francs sur 20 ans, c'est ça, c'est ce que vous m'avez dit?
20 ans,
Hein?
par exemple.
Ça fait ouais, à peu près, on est hors assurance là. Hop.
£260 per month. Well, that sounds okay. Could you do this? Oui,
Alors,
no?
je vous
As in England, to qualify for a loan in France, you have to have a financial assessment, which involves a lot of time-consuming paperwork.
beaucoup les papiers.
C'est
C'est ce
possible?
montant-là, oui.
Vous me donner? Fantastique.
Il faut monter le dossier d'abord, hein. Je ne vous ai pas donné la liste des pièces. Hein.
Nigel and Nippy's estate agent, Manu, has become a good friend. He's even offering to help them find a builder. Not an easy job in such an up-and-coming area.
Pas avant combien de temps? Pas avant 3 mois. En principe, on aurait souhaité attaquer les travaux le plus tôt possible. Ce sera pas possible. Pas possible.
By the 5th call, they get lucky, but Monsieur Galette won't be able to start immediately.
De pouvoir faire des travaux donc, sur la commune de Vals-les-Bains donc à partir du mois de juillet. Merci. Au revoir. It's okay.
Well, at least we found someone. Is he good?
He's a very good guy.
Thanks, Manny.
For once, everything seems to be going smoothly. Just down from Les Fabres, Nigel's visiting his friend Yves, the shepherd, for a few tips on how to get on with all their new neighbours.
Comment les gens ici nous regardent?
Ce qui serait intéressant, c'est que vous fassiez des efforts pour bien parler le français. Il y a un petit temps d'adaptation où ils jugent si les gens sont bien, pas bien, bien. C'est comme ça au départ. Mais quand après vous êtes ardéchois, adopté, c'est à la mort, à la vie.
Amusez-vous, foutez-vous tous la vie.
Whilst Nigel's been trying to save money by camping out up at Les Fabres, Nippy has been staying in one of the best hotels in Vals-les-Bains. To celebrate their decision to press on with the project, Nippy has invited Nigel to join him for dinner.
Hey, mate. You old rogue, what's all this? What a fantastic spread.
I tell you what, look at that.
What a superb place. I'm getting hungry. I've had enough of baked beans and indescribable tinned French food.
Nigel, it's your choice.
Classy place, eh?
Superb.
What worries me slightly, Nippy, about all this is that when the house is finished and we come to Vals-les-Bains, you're going to want to stay here, not in the house.
Sometime I'd like to come in and patronise them as well.
Well, you patronise me enough, why not them as well? If we were going about this again, how would we do it differently? No, don't answer.
They've got the builder, it looks like they've got the money. Now they can return home to England, confident that nothing more can go wrong. One Friday morning a few weeks later, and at the crack of dawn, the house at Les Fabres receives some welcome visitors. Nigel can't quite believe that the builders are actually starting work bang on time.
Ah, Monsieur Galette. Bonjour. Bonjour. José.
Ricardo.
Ricardo, bonjour. C'est fantastic. I didn't know you were going to arrive now.
Even their neighbour comes out to greet the new arrivals.
Monsieur Cabanero. Bonjour. Comment allez-vous? C'était Monsieur Galette le maçon pour le travail. Il arrive pour commencer.
D'accord.
Maintenant. Maintenant. C'est fantastic. I didn't know this, but he's...
On profite du beau temps.
So, months after the house was bought, the builders finally get going. Their first project is lowering the cellar floor by over ½ a metre.
I find it almost impossible to believe that after so much time and so much waiting, at last there's the sound of activity and the builders have actually begun work. In fact, it's been so long that psychologically I just can't get my brain around the fact that it is all happening and it's all about to change. Help!
Nigel. Bonjour.
Hey! Super. Bonjour. Je vous présente Nippy.
Bonjour. Bonjour.
José.
José. Bonjour.
He likes his chocolate. He likes his chocolate. Combien de temps pour finir la terre sans la chambre ici?
Jeudi ou vendredi.
Champagne?
Ah.
Why only half a bottle, Nippy?
What,
Mr. Generosity. Way! Well done, sport. Well done, Monsieur Galette. Ah, fantastic. Anyway, cheers. Here's to Les Fabres.
Vous avez arrosé le chantier.
You've christened comme le bébé. Wait. Let's really do it.
Yeah? Yeah, why not? Why not? Why not?
Superb. No, not too much, man. Anyway, we don't want to stop you working, Mr. Galette, so you carry on. Superb.
Before Monsieur Galette and his two Spanish labourers, Jose and Ricardo, have even had a coffee break, everything goes quiet.
Monsieur Galette?
Oui.
Un problème?
Oui, problème, oui.
The tool bit of the drill has broken, and the nearest supplier is 8 miles away.
It's broken, frappe.
Ça va rien.
Bonjour. C'est Monsieur Galette, c'est non.
Non,
Ce n'est pas bon.
Non, pas bon. Alors, il va retourner.
So you can't start work on that. Ah, that's not so good. C'est problème avec le.
Ouais, râteau-piqueur.
It's not gonna work. Ce n'est pas. No, no travaille pas.
Non.
I can't believe it. We've waited all this time, and after only a few hours on the job, the builders are downing tools and calling it a day. It's Friday, so we're now not going to get started until Monday. It's so frustrating.
On Monday morning, Nigel and Nippy race up to Les Fabres to see how the builders are progressing.
A bit quiet today.
Well, a bit quiet. There's no sign of human life anywhere at all.
Right?
Answer machine. Answer machine.
Oh, good.
Oui, bon après-midi, Monsieur Galette. Je suis Nigel et Nippy à Les Fabres.
À bientôt.
Well, I've left a message, but I'm not sure that's gonna. I've left a message. So?
Next day, Tuesday morning, still no sign of any activity whatsoever. Nigel and Nippy are completely mystified. But on Wednesday morning, and 5 full days after the builders left with their broken tool, there's suddenly the reassuring sound of drilling.
Bonjour, Jose. Bonjour. Comment allez-vous?
Bien, bien.
Bonjour, Ricardo. Et vous travaillez beaucoup aujourd'hui. Fantastique.
Nippy has been given a lift up to Les Fabres by Manu, their estate agent friend.
Ah, Nippy, Manu. The guys are working. Il travaille. The extraordinary thing was that they just pitched up. I had no idea they were going to pitch up. Suddenly they just pitch up.
No, I tell you what, Manu explained it to me. It's because, you know,
Nigel and Nippy hadn't realised that it was the bank holiday on the Tuesday. In France, nobody thinks it's worth turning up for work on the Monday. The French call it le pont.
What do you mean, the pont, the bridge between the week and the bank holiday don't work?
absolutely. And they say, well, what's the point in working on a Monday? Let's take Monday off.
This I don't believe. Are you serious?
It's
They don't
amazing.
work on Le Pont?
No, not only that. All the supermarkets were closed as well. Did you notice that?
No, I didn't.
It's amazing.
Well, thank God there's a rational explanation. Or rather, an irrational explanation. Yeah?
After all the delays, Nigel is keen to roll up his sleeves and help with the work. Nippy, on the other hand, has very firm ideas about builders. You leave it to the professionals and you don't get in the way.
Look at that. I mean, this is, oh, God. It's too dusty, Nigel. I'm not going to...
What's the problem?
No, problem is you are coming in their way. Let them get on with it.
I know. 4 sets of hands are better than 2. So, let's see.
Ça manque encore la moitié.
Yeah. Next time, I think what you should do is, Phil, make a big pile. Let him do it.
Parce que c'est vous qui l'avez fait.
Nigel!
Il y en a assez. Après, il aura plus à lever.
Tiens.
That's a full one.
Ah, on va voir les costauds là.
Full one. What are you doing there? Oh, right. No, don't worry. No, don't.
Nigel wants to know what's happening about his application for a loan to cover his share of the building costs. His mortgage broker, Celine, promised she'd get right back to him, but so far, not a word.
Bonjour. Est-ce que parler avec Céline Cavalier, s'il vous plaît? Céline Cavalier. Oui? Monsieur Farrell, Nigel Farrell. Au sujet de la prêt d'argent. OK. À quelle heure? À quelle heure, mademoiselle Cavalier, elle return? Quand?
Nigel's not told Nippy about his need for a loan, but Nippy suspects there could be a problem.
I have committed my entire resources on it. I haven't got any more money, so don't expect me to bail you out should something go wrong. And I want you to understand this very carefully right now, before we go any further. If you have any problems, say so. Better off selling the house, calling it a day, that's it. I'd rather do that. As far as I'm concerned, one thing is absolutely certain. If you don't come up with money, then that's it. We sell the house. Okay?
Nippy's made it clear that he can afford his half of the renovation bill, but can Nigel? Next week, Nigel and Nippy discover some of the hidden treasures of the Ardèche.
It's all very quiet, isn't it, Maria?
And there's a major falling out with their neighbour, Monsieur Carbonero, over the siting of a new water main.
Et derrière en Mondo, vous faites les travaux que vous voulez. C'est pas honnête. Ouais. C'est pas honnête.
So that's next week at 6. Remember, it's the big night for the Opportunity winners Jane and Denise at the London Coliseum tomorrow at 7. But back to tonight, and it's the Channel 4 News next.